Teams has gone phishing. 0 days also work from anywhere. And when you're good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you're great at something, they'll tell you. These stories and much more on today's episode of MSP Dispatch.
This episode is presented by OIT VoIP. Enhance your client's communication abilities with our VoIP solution, featuring integrated billing, on-demand training, and live US support. Collaborate seamlessly with Microsoft Teams integration and put your entire phone system in your pocket with Mobile X. Improve your offerings and increase profitability with reliable service for 1/10 of the average MSP acquisition cost. To learn more, visit oit.co or dial 844-CALL-OIT.
Good morning and welcome to the September 12th episode of MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, commentary, and a little bit of football in the MSP channel. I'm Ray Orsini, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Tony Francisco. How you doing, Tony?
Excellent, brother. Excellent. It is, just to be blunt, I need my Ray time. I was away from you for so long. I started calling other people Ray, and that was just, I like, now I don't know if it was like the Freudian slip, like it was always the, I missed you, Ray. I mean, what? Kelly?
I miss you too, brother. And my many thanks to Tom Lawrence, who did an amazing job filling in. I was under the weather, my whole household under the weather for the last week and change. I'm recovering. My family is still finishing the sickness trip, but everybody's in good spirits. And yay family, but also yay football. Tony, do you like football? Are you a sports ball guy or...
So I have had season tickets to the Tampa Bucks for maybe 10 years now. And the answer is I don't even understand the sport. But I know that I'm not joking. I'm literally on the second row. Like I'm looking at the players, like their head, and I'm like, hey, what was that? I don't understand. Did he just hit a home run? Like what's going on? Anyway.
So that I actually am a pretty hardcore football fan, so much so that my co-host for MSP Community Live, Matt Topper, is also, and football season started this Sunday, and the Dolphins won 34-31 over the Chargers. Yay, Dolphins. Take the one win where we can. And so we actually moved Community Live to Friday at 11 a.m. immediately after MSP Dispatch because we can't have football and we can't have MSP Community Live on Sundays. We're both staring at the screen, So, and speaking of, do you know who gave the quote I gave in the beginning?
Who?
Do you know where that's from? I'll repeat it again. It's when you're good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you're great at something, they'll tell you.
That's awesome. Who did that?
The venerable Walter Payton. And that was selected because we have a story for the NFL and one of our top stories. And I think I haven't said this in a while, Tony. So I say this with all my heart. Let's get into the news.
Let's get into it.
In my top security story, Microsoft Teams phishing attack pushes DarkGate Malware, written by Bill Toulis for Bleeping Computer. A recent phishing campaign exploits Microsoft Teams messages to distribute DarkGate loader malware. The campaign, which started in August 2023, uses compromised Office 365 accounts to send fake Microsoft Teams messages containing a malicious zip file named Changes to the Vacation Schedule. When open, this attachment triggers a download of the DarkGate loader via a SharePoint URL, masquerading as a PDF document. The malware is delivered using a malicious VB script and employs Windows C URL or curl for evasion, and the script checks for antivirus software and launches the payload accordingly. DarkGate Malware, in circulation since 2017, offers various malicious capabilities, including remote access, cryptocurrency mining, key logging, and data theft. Reports suggest an increase in distribution through methods like phishing and malvertising, making it a growing threat to watch for. Despite concerns, Microsoft hasn't addressed the issue, advising admins instead to implement strict configurations and limit external access. Tony, we've heard this before. It's not broken, just don't use it that way. What do you have to say to this?
So just to be clear, there is a malware that does its own curl, its own deployment based on circumstances, and it's almost like an intelligent almost auto-propagating, auto-navigating, auto-conforming virus. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, Tony, you're absolutely right. So malware is getting smarter and smarter and evolving and looking at the same things we're looking at how to protect ourselves. If anybody is RTFMing, it's the bad guys. They're looking at what our best practices are. They're looking at how we protect things, and they're absolutely trying to get around it. This does bring up a good point, though. Most people don't know this. Microsoft Teams is open externally by default, which means Tony and his organization can message me in my organization just by typing the email address. And by default, that's left open. Now, there are use cases for leaving it open. Tony and I need to communicate, right? So we leave it open and we communicate that way. You can allow external communication, but block links and block files externally. And that is my personal non-security guy recommendation. Go do that, please. Because that's an easy way to fix it. I mean, that's an easy way to stop it, right? Because even if they get the link, links don't work, no problem solved. Tony, have you come across this? Have you ever had the joy of getting a surprise message from somebody on Teams that you had no expectation of receiving that message?
The answer is yes, in certain situations. In an open architecture, the answer is yes. For those of you who don't remember the beginning of Teams, it was the exact opposite, where everything was shut down. But here's the problem. If you want to provide somebody, let's say a contractor, a Teams account, well, now you have to open up your AD in Active Directory to give them a username and then the authentication. But what if there's an agreement with a vendor that has multiple customers that use Teams? Has anyone ever experimented with using multiple Teams accounts? It is brutal. So what they decided to do is open it up to allow a better cross-communication process. But guess what? Everything has a cost. Now there is a big security concern. So being that the choice is consistently security or simplicity, you really can't choose both. What is the answer, Ray? Is there an answer? I mean, do you lock everything up again and you cut out everyone you're trying to communicate with, and then you have to do exceptions and whitelist? Or do you keep it open and do the best that you can and use, what's that called? Oh yeah, hope. Use hope as a good strategy moving forward with security. What are the choices here?
Rebellions are built on hope. Now, I'm sorry, that's the only story. I mean, I started this with sports ball. I have to get some nerddom in there. One of the best lines from Rogue One. But yeah, so I don't think you need to lose convenience for security. I think you need to level set your expectations of convenience. I like the fact that I can walk up to my car and the door is unlocked before I walk up to the door. I love that. It's a stupid little user experience thing. I love the fact that my keys are in my pocket. I walk up to the door, I hear the click, and I just open the door. I'm good to go. I love that. Now, if I said, Tony, just leave your doors unlocked, yeah, you're probably not going to do that because you're smarter than any stupid thing I would tell you to do, right? And so that's kind of the point. Yes, we want the door to be unlocked when we walk up to it, but that requires having something on us, proving ownership and access. No problem with that. I think as IT professionals, we need to find those ways to account for the user experience while maintaining security. And I do think there's a happy medium in there. Now, if it's I want everything to work the way it always has and have all of my freedom, no, you're SOL on that one. And that's what I want to hear from the MSPs. Tell us in the comments, tell us on Discord, how are you having those conversations with clients? How are you setting those expectations? And getting past I've always done it this way and we didn't have a problem. Well, yeah, we also used to hand crank cars. So I'd love to see that on the Palmetto Expressway. But let us know. Hit us up on Discord community. But Tony, you know what I love hearing about? Work from anywhere. And VPN are one of the technologies that allows me to work from anywhere. Isn't that the best thing in the world?
Yeah. VPNs. Cisco VPNs. Straight my first story from bleepingcomputer.com. Cisco has identified and warned about a zero-day vulnerability, that's CVE 2023-20269, in its adaptive security appliance and firewall threat defense. The vulnerability impacting the VPN feature also allows unauthorized attackers to launch brute force attacks on existing accounts, granting them access to corporate networks. Previously, ransomware groups like Akira and Lockbit had exploited vulnerabilities in Cisco's VPN devices. Cisco has now confirmed that this Zero-Day was among those leveraged by the gangs. The flaw lies within the web services interface of ASA and FTD devices. While Cisco plans to release an update addressing this, they provided workarounds in the interim. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, which we have endorsed strongly here at MSP Dispatch, can significantly mitigate risks for this particular vulnerability. So Ray, I don't know if you have a pre-printed I told you so card with the MSP Dispatch, I told you so, told you so, told you so, and how many of those can we print out, but I don't think it's enough. So my question to you is very simple. Why doesn't everyone have MFA on everything? Talk to me.
Tony, we actually have an answer for this. We have the MMN Dumpster Fire Award. And Phil, put it on screen. All right, congratulations, because you guys are in the Dumpster Fire Award. Because, come on, MFA, how many freaking times have you seen Tony and me do this with our freaking YubiKey? We talked about not using SMS. Like, come on, these are like obvious things, right? Like, come on. So, and it annoys the crap out of me because I know every single one of these people have IT professionals in their lives. That's what's driving me nuts. People in charge with
are you saying that Cisco
configuring
has IT people? That's what I know. I feel like you're sending mixed messages now. Cisco has IT people on staff. Is that what you're saying?
They have IT people for IT people. That's what the Cisco TAC is. That's what the Cisco TAC is. Like, come on.
They are being Malkovich inside Malkovich inside Malkovich.
You know what? I will use another enormous organization. You know who we never hear these stories about lacking MFA? I've never seen CompTIA have one of these stories. Have you? They're not Cisco big, but they're big. They're global.
But they teach it. They teach it. They teach it. They practice it. They enforce it. They tell everyone through education.
It's not an option. It's required. It's
good call.
Process, procedure, training, and discipline. It's not one or the other. You need the whole package. Okay? Because if you're going to go make a cake and not put any eggs or not put any flour, you're going to have a rough time. Okay? You need these things to make your security cake. Now I want cake. So... I mean, Tony, am I being unreasonable here to think that everybody should have MFA anywhere possible, period?
Well, let's be blunt. To all the people in IT that are listening to this, we all can, in some way, shape, or form, through whatever lens you are looking at, agree that microsegmentation is critical to enforcing authentication and limit vulnerabilities. We understand that a regulatory framework is critical, which involves some level of vision. We all agree that a microservice architecture is critical in some component, which ironically feeds back into the microsegmentation is critical specifically to enforce authentication. The added layer, the entry point to that entire process that we just discussed right there is MFA. Now, in the event authentication is bypassed, is spoofed, is exploited, the microsegmentation that we just referred to limits the blast radius. If you are unable to do that, then it's just you get in the kingdom, you get in the kingdom, and you got everything. You might as well just give everyone admin rights, and if they can get the password, they got everything. Of course, that isn't rational. That isn't thinking.
And these are concepts everybody understands. You buy a new house. We were just talking about, when you move, your office gets smaller and smaller. That's called being a parent and a husband. Congrats. I go through the same thing. So, and your boys aren't even like adults yet. Oh, they're getting there, but they're not even adults yet. So you buy a new house. You're doing three things right off the bat: power, water, internet. I don't care who you are in the United States of America. If you have the money to do so, when you buy a house, you're doing those three things. It is automatic. You have your steps you do when you get out of bed, whether it's roll in bed and be like, FML, why do I got to get up? Or you wake up and look at your phone and look at your schedule, whatever. Everybody has their morning routine they do. And you're usually within 20% of your morning routine every single day, right? Why can't security be that? Why can't security be, I log in, I get access to a platform, first thing I do is go to my profile, change my picture, change my contact information, add MFA. That is my process. New platform, profile, MFA, done. If we can teach that and get into those habits, I think we'll get a lot less of this.
I cannot agree with you more. But I'm just going to point out two things very important. Okay, because we're running out of time. The first thing is, why did you? I love how you pointed out power, water, and then internet. Like internet's not coming first. Let's be blunt. You and I have first.
Well, you have no internet without power, so that's why I'm an order of operations kind of guy. I'm absolutely like
you and your logic.
And I need the power
water
to power
should
everything.
last.
I need the water for my bourbon. I need the internet to watch the things.
And the second thing is, wouldn't it be cool if these security practices are practiced everywhere, not just in CompTIA, as we mentioned, so sternly and so rigidly, not just in Cisco and Microsoft and every other major player, but outside of what we consider to be business, into the, we'll call them sports, fun. Let's say football. How is that working in football? Do you think they practice security?
Yeah, I mean, they have surfaces, right? In my third top security story, we go from dun 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 to dun 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 dun. That should have been the opener. All right, so my third top security story, NFL security chief talks about generative AI threats as a concern right as the new season kicks off. Written by Jai Vijayan for Dark Reading. As of the 2023 NFL season beginning, Chief Information Security Officer Tomas Maldonado faces a cybersecurity challenge, protecting data, systems, and networks from evolving threats like AI-driven phishing and deepfake videos. The NFL operations are going digital, vulnerabilities have grown, making the league a prime target. Maldonado is concerned that deepfakes could spread to the sports and entertainment industry, potentially damaging the league's reputation. Credential theft and AI-powered phishing are also major concerns, which prompted awareness training for players, coaches, and staff. Maldonado is working with NFL teams to enhance their security programs, focusing on critical areas like network security, identity controls, cyber insurance, and then Cisco, an official technology partner, also plays a vital role in securing NFL's infrastructure. I hope Maldonado does not watch MSP Dispatch. The NFL emphasizes collective defense, while teams like the Cleveland Browns are adopting risk-based strategies to strengthen security proactively, ensuring a safer experience for fans and stakeholders. Tony, I mean, when you want to talk about the big leagues, I mean, the big leagues, you talk about the NFL, right? So the NFL today, as of the last stats, is worth $142.87 billion. Now, I can't think of a more distributed, more integrated platform than the National Football League. You have production companies, you have coaches, you have statistics, you have teams, you have analysts, you have everybody and their mother getting something. So you're not just distributed because you have the NFL and then you have the teams, right? The 32 NFL teams. You have that plus their organizations, plus their IT infrastructure, plus the external entities you're doing business with. And we're hearing in 2023, they're adding security awareness training. I could have hooked you up with my buddy from Finn. I mean, but like, what's your takeaway here? Yes, I think these are all scary things. None of this is new, though.
I feel like you're late on the draw on printing out those "I told you so" cards, as we talked about earlier. And maybe if we can have them according to your state and team preference, that'd be really cool. I'm not saying that we would get them endorsed by the NFL, having the NFL.
We all know if I'm going to make a dumpster fire logo, it's going to be for the Seminoles. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about this. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, love when I hear an entry-level MSP come in and they say, we want to sell everything to everyone because everyone's got an IT in some capacity. Although I agree with that, you are going to need to find customers that resonates with, that you're the one-stop and you do everything. If they're going to talk to you, or talk to an MSP, and we'll call it boutique, but very niche, that has experience, that speaks their language with their vernacular, and they understand the colloquialisms, and right, they're going to choose the latter every single time. My question is, who is the IT specialty team for the NFL and for sporting teams? And then we run into a very interesting problem, because although they are specialty with the NFL, specialty with realtors, specialty with medical, specialty with legal, etc., and they're all very different subsets, they're all still MSPs in the IT arena. How do they communicate with each other?
I didn't even think medical. You got medical requirements because they all have like in-house medical facilities. You have ridiculous accounting teams. You have, I just want to know if Maldonado gets together with like the heads of IT from all the 32 teams, and they have a huddle with the IT guys. Like,
oh my gosh. But how do we pull these together? I mean, that's the question that I have, is because we're clearly having the same problems but separate industries, and they tend to spread in that particular niche. How do we get the IT players that are specialty, that are boutique in each of these individual genres together to create a best practices? Or are they so hyper siloed? Are they air gapped to the point where they just don't talk to each other, just like an NFL team doesn't talk to a medical facility? I don't know what the answer to that is, but
you know where the answer could be found? I personally am a big fan of communities. So whether it's MSP Geek, whether it's Reddit, our MSP, or our very own MSP Media Network Discord, it's where IT guys and women and every IT bears get together and just talk and have fun and do things. And at last, I haven't seen, I don't think Jay's done his report this year, but the last report he does a yearly report of all the MSP communities. There were over 170.
170 communities.
And I think it's less about what niche you're in. I think there's stuff that's universally applicable, that if you're just aware of how another vertical is doing it, you can say, oh, wow, I could apply that to myself too. That's why I loved regulated businesses as an MSP. Everybody was doing retention. Everybody's doing MFA. Everybody's doing logging and auditing and blah, 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 blah. It's not unique, whether it's FINRA, FERPA, SOX, FDA, whatever. It's all the same BS. Different minimal requirements, but basically the same. So I think we can learn from those NFL guys, and, from anybody else. I think it's just a matter of getting together. So go to the MMN Discord. Let's talk football. Go team, Blue 32, MFA hike. All right. But for now, we got some notables, right?
Ready, set, hike. And in my first notable mention from darkreading.com, Citizen Lab uncovered 2 no-click zero-day vulnerabilities in NSO Group's Pegasus spyware on an individual's device. They informed Apple, leading to the identification of CVE 2023 41064 and CVE 2023 41061. Named Blastpass, the exploit affects iPhones on iOS 16.6.1 and tablets on iPadOS 16.6.1, allowing code execution without victim interaction. Apple addressed this in their latest patches, advising users to update. High-risk individuals are recommended to enable lockdown mode for added protection against sophisticated digital threats. And jumping straight into my second notable mention from Engadget.com, X, formerly Twitter, is suing California over AB 587, a law mandating disclosure of content moderation practices. X argues that the law is unconstitutional and could suppress protected speech, suggesting that the state's aim is to pressure platforms to eliminate certain content. While some activists support AB 587 for platform transparency, industry groups, including NetChoice, representing major tech companies, believe it aids bad actors and hinders rule enforcement. Assemblyman Jesse Gabriel, the bill's author, countered X's lawsuit, saying the platform with nothing to hide shouldn't object.
In my first notable mention, Google flips the switch on interest-based ads with Privacy Sandbox Rollout, written by Ivan Mehta for TechCrunch. Google has initiated the rollout of its Privacy Sandbox, a replacement for third-party cookies, to all Chrome users. The feature tracks users' interests based on their browsing habits, enabling advertisers to display relevant ads. However, users have complained about a lack of information in the pop-up explaining the technology, with some labeling it as spyware, and critics have raised concerns about Google's implementation and data collection practices. Chrome's move to phase out cookies has faced delays, with the company planning to disable third-party cookies by default for all users in the second half of 2024. In my second notable mention, evil Telegram Android apps on Google Play infected 60,000 with spyware, written by Bill Toulis for Bleeping Computer. Several malicious Telegram clone apps on Google Play have infected over 60,000 users with spyware, stealing their messages, contacts, and more. These apps, tailored for Chinese-speaking users and the Uyghur ethnic minority, suggest potential links to state monitoring and repression mechanisms. Discovered by Kaspersky, they were reported to Google, but some were still available for download. In addition, these Trojanized Telegram apps appear as faster alternatives with extra code functions to steal data. The spyware sends stolen data to a command and control server, including message content, chat channel details, and sender information. Google has removed these apps and banned their developers, emphasizing its commitment to end-user security and privacy. And in our resource of the week, a GigaCode blog written by Brandon Martinez. In this blog, Brandon Martinez, an MSP industry expert, shares a wealth of insights and practical knowledge. He teaches how to use Microsoft Azure bot services to tie into Microsoft Teams to create your own Azure bot. In future blogs, he's going to be covering how to use Roost to do the same thing. The link to the blog is included below.
And now let's take a look at some events taking place across the community and here on MMN. Later today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Tradecraft Tuesday, Understanding Evil, Reverse Engineering Malware. And on the 13th through the 14th, an in-person event, Cybersecurity Marketing Roadshow in Newark, New Jersey. And on September 14th, another in-person event, the MSP Revenue Generator in Toronto. And coming from the MSP Media Network this week, we have later today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Wins and Losses, Episode 9. And tomorrow at 10 a.m., AI Roundup, Episode 27. Also, you can look for MSP Community Live at its new time on Friday at 11 a.m. And as always, the MSP Dispatch presented by the MSP Media Network on Tuesdays and Fridays. Are you engrossed by the intriguing world of AI? Do you find yourself relying more on ChatGPT every day? Are you fascinated by creating visuals with Midjourney or Stable Diffusion? Or could it be you're contemplating the deep-seated implications AI has for your professional field? If you're struggling to keep abreast of all the AI developments, don't worry. I'm Phil Buck, the host of AI Roundup, a weekly digest of all things AI. Make sure to check in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern for a concise roundup of the most captivating AI news right here on the MSP Media Network.
So how'd you like today's episode? Did we do 4 and out, or we go all the way to the end zone? If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit it 3, 5, 7 times. You know the deal. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on YouTube or your favorite podcatcher. Did you know we also have a Discord where we post stories all week? You can propose your own stories and even vote on which ones we'll cover. As my friend Rich Banky says, make sure to tell a friend. Also be sure to follow us on social media at MSP Media TV. Have any questions? Email news@mspmedia.tv for answers on the next episode, or leave us a voicemail, 833 MSP Network. Tony, we lived, we laughed, we got first down, we hit the end zone. It's a good episode, man. I'm happy to be back. I missed you like crazy. I loved watching the episodes. It was nice to see 2 professionals on the screen for once instead of you and me. It was nice, man. You guys did an awesome job, and I appreciate you guys filling in for me.
Thank you, brother. Dude, we're almost 150 episodes. That's 150.
Is that insane or what?
Episodes in.
It's
crazy.
Been
amazing.
That's more episodes than Super Bowls.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we could have said 2, and it would be more episodes than Super Bowls the Dolphins have been to in the last 30 years. But anyway,
good seeing you, brother.
Dolphins. I'd sing the song, but we sold it off. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves and each other.
Be safe, everyone.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.
Someone's on mute.
Yeah, muted. It doesn't matter.
Mute.
You know what? I'm just going to open my toys. I don't need to be here. Oh, look. It's new Rode wireless microphones from the new Rode Professional series.
Is that just came out?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. You're such a punk. Yeah, I know.
And thanks to Rode for sending me a set. No.
Oh, that is awesome.
All right, so
the flaws that lie. I should have managed expectations. One more time. Here we go. I know. See what happens? I'm so distracted by you being here. I'm like, I can't get my lines
lies.
right.
Now you want to go by the Insta360 link.
I do. I'm already on it right now. I'm not joking. Here we go. You are on mute. You are on mute.
And I was having the most serious conversation.
Yeah, I could tell. I'm like, you were looking at my face though. I was just lit.
Yeah, 420 years ago, our forefathers brought forth in Wisconsin a new nation and conceived in liberty. No.